Hi, I'm Greg Kale, and I'm here today with Kelly Deering-Smith, Chair of the American Water Works Association's Public Affairs Council. In her day job, Kelly is Vice President of Marketing and Communication at Louisville Water. We're going to talk a few moments today about some forthcoming news out of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency related to PFAS and other emerging contaminants. Kelly, thanks so much for spending some time with me today.
Thank you, Greg. Water is certainly in the spotlight these days, and I love the platform to talk about communications.
Yeah, so let's dig right in. I mean, as you're very well aware, for some time now, water utilities have been out there looking for unregulated substances in water, emerging contaminants, under EPA's unregulated contaminant monitoring rule. So any day now, EPA will publicly release that data on its websites and perhaps other ways. And let's remember that list includes 29 different PFAS, as well as lithium. I would say particularly in the area of PFAS, we can expect a lot of national and localized public interest in that. I'm sure that there will be advocacy groups that will take that data, the uncertainty around it, and characterize it for the community. So if I'm sitting here as a water utility communicator or general manager, what should I be doing right now to prepare for that moment?
Greg, there are three things that I would encourage any utility provider communicator to think about. One, what is your story? Number two, who will deliver that story? And number three, who will you deliver the story to and how are you going to do that as well? So it first starts with your story. How do you produce and deliver drinking water? And that also includes the research that you're doing, just like you're talking about with UCMR. The second piece of that is who's going to share that story. So every utility provider should have a team that's focused on water quality and communications. You may not have a dedicated communications professional on staff, but you need a team that's looking at this through the lens of the consumer so that you can share the results of your research with a grandmother, a politician, even a fourth grader. Make it relevant and easy to understand. The third piece of advice is who is going to hear that story and how will you share the story? Sharing the research, make it easy to understand, putting it in context of everything that you do with the utility, and bottom line, assuring your community that you're the trusted source.
Public Affairs Council has a fantastic document called Trending in an Instant that I think is probably the perfect document for this kind of moment. Could you maybe say a couple words about how that came about and why it's good for this kind of moment?
Yeah. Well, the document Trending in an Instant is a risk communications guide, and it came about because several water utilities came to the council and said, we feel like we're being attacked on social media. Perhaps some people in our community are talking about us in ways that we need to get in front of. We need some resources to help. And so that was our basis for developing Trending in an Instant. I keep copies on my desk. I frequently hand them out. This is a go-to guide for anyone in our industry who wants to think about how to communicate with empathy, and also how to become the expert, the trusted source in the community. When people come to us with concerns about research or about something they saw in the media or perhaps something they saw online on social media, there's a lot of emotion charged in that. And what they really want to hear from us is, A, what are you doing? B, can I drink my water? And C, what else do I need to know? And so Trending in an Instant gives you resources, tips, even templates for how to respond with empathy, how to be that expert, and at the end of the day, use any crisis or any potential issue to be the trusted source.
Yeah, I know in my time in AWWA, and certainly in recent years, the Public Affairs Council has always advocated for getting out there proactively, talking about what you know, even though you don't have all the information. I wanted to ask, how does a utility balance this idea of transparency with the very real fact that sometimes they don't have all the information to characterize the risk at the levels found in drinking water, and it's just a difficult conversation.
Well, you balance a lot of that by first being proactive and talking about what you do know and what you do every single day. We're in the business of public health, and at Louisville Water, that starts with telling our story and drinking our product. So that's the first thing that you do. The second thing is we have to recognize that we're in an industry that the science is ever changing. What we knew 5 years ago is perhaps not relevant today. So bringing the community along with us on that journey is so very important. The only time people hear from us or see from us cannot be when something breaks, cannot be when the EPA comes out with an announcement, or we need money. We've got to be upfront about what we know, what we don't know, and take the community along with us for the ride.
Yeah, no, it so often comes down to who we trust in these situations. And I know AWWA has done another survey. I think it's the 4th time related to public perceptions on tap. And, I imagine that there are some things out of that survey that might apply to this situation. Can you think of any?
There are 2 that really stand out to me. One is the more that we communicate with our customers, with our community, the higher level of trust we see, almost 3 times as much people who say they recall hearing from us. The second thing is that research also showed us the value of testing and sharing the water quality data. We're all required to do the research, but when you talk about the research, that builds trust. And think about people in your life, Greg, that you trust. You trust them because you got to know them, and you get to know someone by spending time with them, by listening to them, by communicating. Well, our relationship with our consumers who use our product every single day is the same. People trust us, when they know our story. So I love the research. We do it here at Louisville Water as well. And if you need a business case for communications, that is it.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. That's great insights. I would remind everybody out there who's listening to this that AWWA has a lot of resources on the subject of PFAS. That there's even a new communications guide about lithium specifically. There's other public trust documents such as the new lead communications guide related to strengthening public trust as we communicate about lead. So there's a lot out there. I hope everyone will take advantage of it. And I hope that people will turn to the Public Affairs Council and to you, Kelly, for advice in these kind of situations. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Greg. And if I can ever be a resource to anyone in the industry, you can find me and I'm happy to connect.